Okay, basic set-driven key. I have a anim for my blinds here. Here are the blinds. I just whip this out fairly quickly. And so you can get to set-driven key a bunch of ways. It's in the animation menu set under animate and set-driven key, and you go to the arrow and set. Okay. Now I had my driven attributes, which are just the blinds, the NURBS planes here, selected when I opened it, so it automatically loaded it into the driven attribute. And I have my blinds anim, which is my controller, with the thing that I want the user to interface with, and that's going to be my driver. And so I load that by hitting driver. If you forgot to have these guys selected, you can just select them and do load driven. All right. Then what you do is we're going to link two values together, and we're going to link in the translate y of the anim here. Okay, so I'm saying, hey, look at the translate y. Its value here happens to be 0. Okay, doesn't have to be. It can be 5. My low value can be 5 or 10 or 7.3754. Blah blah blah. Okay. Then I grab my the blinds themselves. I'm going to rotate these on the y-axis. So I'm going to grab the rotate y. Okay, and and the benefit of the set-driven key is you can attach any attribute to any other attribute and say any value then links up to any other value. Okay, so you can take something that goes from 1 to 0 to 1 and change it from 1 to 360 without having to do the math. All right, so I have so we have the rotate y's selected in all these guys, like that. All right. It happens to be 0. Doesn't have to be. Okay. Most of the times it is, just because it's convenient. You're building stuff right at the beginning of a project, but it doesn't have to be. All right. So I hit key here, which links those two values. So now the value of 0 here on this circle, which I've called blinds anim, because I tag everything that the animator is going to play with the tag anim. Okay, and I've linked it to the rotate y of the blinds, which are the NURBS planes here. Okay, and there we go. So now those are linked. Then I grab the anim and I slide it to the top of my little guide box there. So I go, okay, yeah, that's going to be the top of the range. And so it's I've translated up to 11.3. Who cares? You slide it to something that looks good here. All right. You have to do the driving attribute first, but it doesn't matter what the value is up there. Make an artistic decision. Then I grab my blinds and I change their y value to open like that. Okay, I'm not paying attention to what it's here. Okay, it happens to be -97 or something. If I went the other way, then it would be +90. Okay, I make an artistic decision here, doing the driver second, and then I hit the key button to make that link. So now as I move, okay, this guy down and up again, it makes that change naturally for me. And so I can key this one spot and it does all this animation for me. And that way when my boss comes in and says, hey, blah, 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 that thing needs to be slower, I go to this one spot and I do it slower, and it updates all of them. So that's set-driven key. and you link specifically the values, all right, one to another. And so you have to always alter your driver's value first, the driven value second, and then you hit the key button to lock it into place. And you can do this with 3 or 4 values or even more if you want. And you can start, I started with the low values, this guy down at 0, these guys at 0. I could have started up at the high value, okay? You know, it's all up to you. All right, hope that helps. Have fun.